Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So, do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show. Yep.
What a night.
What a night, huh?
We saw some history tonight on a Friday night. How about Keegan
Murray.
How you doing?
Friday?
Yeah, it's a Friday night. Saturday night.
Okay.
It feels like a Friday night. But it is Saturday.
He's going to take off his shirt.
Oh, it feels so good. Friday, Saturday, it doesn't matter what day of the week, because today will be forever known as Keegan Murray's coming out party. Dropping 47 points on the Utah Jazz head. The Jazz, they'll be playing the Blues tonight after tonight's game. How about that, baby?
I get it. I love it. Oh.
As my dear
okay?
friend would say, my dear friend LA Knight would say,
let me talk to you.
Drink.
listen and listen to me good. I don't want to ever open up X, Threads, Bleacher Report, Discord. I don't ever want to peer down at the YouTube chat or the Twitch chat and see anything that says trade Keegan Murray ever
Type it
again.
in now.
I don't want to see it ever again. It was ludicrous before tonight. It's even more ludicrous now. You're not trading a second-year guy who just dropped 47 points and can be a two-way stud in this league. He's shown it defensively. He showed it last year offensively, and now he's starting to roll offensively. Wake up. Don't tell me about trading him for OG. Don't tell me about trading him for Markkanen. I am not trading this guy because he is a stud. We did a preview video this morning about this game against the Utah Jazz. What did I say at the end of this, Morgan?
I think the same exact thing that you're saying right now.
I am not trading Keegan Murray. The guy's a stud. He is 24 games into his sophomore campaign and dropped 47 points, a franchise record 12 threes, a franchise record 26 points in the third quarter, passing Mitch Richmond. They did it with De'Aaron Fox. Show this guy some respect and embrace the fact that the Kings got a stud. All the people that were typing away and in their feelings, people in this town telling me, Jay Ivey or bust. Sit down, relax, and watch Keegan Murray develop. He's a young player. He's going to have ups and downs, but there are going to be more ups because the guy's a two-way stud. Drink it in. Where's my music?
Oh, we going.
The fog is out tonight. Oh, do not talk about trading Keegan.
No.
Ever again.
Oh, God, this is bad.
And if you do, I won't go. What? What's bad?
It's okay. Go.
It is bad.
Yeah.
Don't trade Keegan Murray, or I will lose my mind. Don't ever talk about it again.
Oh, my God.
Because it's all about Keegan. Oh, the fog is out tonight. Woo!
I love that I go, this is bad.
It was bad. And you know what?
No, but I felt bad because you were like, what is? And then I was like, no, keep going. It was good.
Oh. The Kings should trade him. They need another guy. You casuals, just get that out. I don't want to hear it ever again. Ever.
You know what's so funny? So you said that on our game preview.
Yeah.
And when you even said that, you're like, oh, people are saying, I'm like, maybe I'm just like not seeing the same thing, or maybe I'm just not as engaged as I used to be. But I always feel like there's always people talking about this kind of stuff, right? Like no matter how good the player is.
The impatience sometimes is like, well, I mean, if the Kings are going to take a next step, they got to make a move. And the only real asset they have is Keegan Murray. And that's the only way to get a start. You got to go. You got to get a Siakam or OG. It's like, no, you know what you need to do? Let's not overthink it.
Oh, I know.
You got Fox Sabonis. Let Keegan develop and go build around that. Tinker around that. The Kings aren't far away from being a really, really fun team. Hell, they're 15-9 right now. They still have some weaknesses that they have to fix. But Keegan Murray is part of the solution.
Oh, part of the solution. Feel good now?
Yeah, Jamar says Deuce looks like he's about to salsa dance. Yeah, I kind of do, huh? Hey.
Yeah, I've never felt that way. Like even with Tyrese, I knew he was going to be something special.
Yeah.
But the Kings were in such a different place
at
that time where it's like, well, you got to trade good to get good no matter what. Where I still understand that is the definition of how you get better in this league. But if you have something that is young, that is a good person on and off the floor, that you've only see become better and better in, like you said, 24 games into his sophomore year in the NBA, right in front of your eyes. Trust your eyeballs. Trust your eyeballs.
It's that simple. Let's give some love to everybody watching us live right now on a Saturday night.
Cheers.
As we approach a holiday week, I think, for some. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Have a little roll call. Shout out to Jake and Manny. Oh, we can't forget about Jask and Ty and Lee. What is up, 916 Outdoors? We got Brian and Adam. What's up, Johnny and Keegan Murray? Watch. I guarantee you're watching tonight. What's going on, John? And Adrian's in the building. You can't forget about Lil Uzi Vert. Apex Legends across the pond is here with King, Chris. Oh, we've got so many people here. It's bouncing around like crazy. What's up, Sean and Philip and Abe and Sean again, a different Sean. Hamburger Dad, Adam, oh, Jesse, James, Patrick, Jamar, Jonathan. Oh, Adam, drink this all in. What a night.
What a night. Dude.
And we're just getting started with a
And
little
we're
night
chill.
chat. Morgan's about to leave on Monday, going to G League Showcase.
Hey!
We got to talk about that.
And you hosting NBC Sports California with Mike Bibby.
Yeah, Kings pre and post. Kings Wizards Monday night. Deuce Mason and Mike Bibby.
Oh.
You think that Weber Bibby 2-man game was lethal? Just wait. Just wait.
Ooh.
Just wait.
Dropping some dimes to
What's
Bibby.
up, Cruise? What's up, Sarah? Did you see what my player of the game poll was? Who was your player of the game? Is it Keegan? Is it Murray? Or is it Keegan or Murray?
Wow. It looks like everyone's going with the first Keegan, which I think is a pretty good idea.
The real question is, will he be a Roc Sol player of the game tonight?
If he's not, I think everyone's going to lose their shit.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Like, why not?
I don't know. I just
Why
thought.
not?
Okay. Appreciate Hamburger Dad saying, Deuce, you were great on the radio tonight. Appreciate that. I was on the Kings radio broadcast tonight. Just
God, you're
dropping
just
nuggets.
everywhere.
Dropping nuggets. We got a lot to go over tonight. We'll talk obviously about the stud, Keegan Murray. And also Utah throwing out some junk defense at the Kings, and the Kings kind of picking it apart tonight. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we start?
No.
I'm sipping a beer tonight. I went with a little Deschutes, a festive winter ale.
Look at
Jubilee.
you. You're so festive.
I am. I'm in the Christmas spirit today.
I don't think I have anything to get off my chest. I'm excited to talk about this game.
All right, let's do it. Deuce and Mo. We're coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music. Deuce
and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast, recording this on a Saturday night. One for the record books at Golden One Center in Sacramento. We saw a star being born in front of our eyes as Keegan Murray put on an absolute shooting clinic. G-Man said it best at one point. Keegan Murray is 2 away from the NBA record in made threes in a game. It was that type of night for Keegan Murray, who finished with a career-high 47 points. He had a franchise record 12 three-pointers, a franchise record for points in a quarter with 26, and the Sacramento Kings won without De'Aaron Fox in the lineup tonight, 125-104. They're now 15-9 on the season, getting ready with a first showdown on Monday against the Wizards. Each and every one of our podcasts presented by our friends are at Northwest Exteriors. Check out northwestexteriors.com. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing?
So good. So good. A star was born tonight. I love that. And I love that for so many reasons, because this wasn't one of those games where it's like, fluky, coming on. I don't want to disrespect any other player, so I'm just going to say one game, whatever, where he's just had the hot hand. No. You're seeing what Keegan Murray is capable. I'm not acting like he's going to drop 47 points every single night just because he's capable of doing that this one night, or making 11 straight threes.
An NBA record. He also
NBA record.
hit a franchise record 7 threes in the third quarter alone.
But you're just seeing what this guy is capable of as a player. And if he can find a place to find some consistency at this level, which I very much believe that he can on both ends of the floor, a star is brightening.
Brightening, yeah.
Well, because I couldn't say a star is born again.
Yeah,
what
fine.
did you want me to say?
I think the other thing that is worth repeating, something I mentioned in our pre-show on YouTube tonight. We got to stop. We got to stop with this whole, get off Fanspo, get off the ESPN trade tracker, stop screenshotting your trade ideas. I don't want to see another Sacramento Kings related trade that features Keegan Murray. This guy is a stud. He's young. He's got size at 6'8", 6'9". He's gotten stronger, and this year he's turned into, if not the best defensive player on the Kings, one of the best defensive players on the Kings. Not only that, last year he was lethal from three. Got off to a slow start this year, but since the back injury, since coming back from that, it's heading in the right direction. Tonight, you saw the best of Keegan Murray. I love everything about his game. I love his personality, meaning he is just focused on, I want to play basketball. I'm a good guy. I'm a good teammate. He's out there defending his ass off no matter what, and then raining down threes. I am so used to the Kings being on the other side of this. We were witnessing Klay Thompson drop 37 points on the Kings in a third quarter one point in time. We've seen other players kill the Kings. Tonight, the Kings were on the other side of that, with Keegan Murray having an unbelievable night. The Kings need to keep Keegan Murray. We don't need to talk about it anymore. He is part of the solution. Let this guy grow, and he's going to be a really, really good two-way player for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I mean, and wasn't it reported too? The Kings are not thinking about trading Keegan Murray in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what the exact line or the tweet was, but it's like, to me, that was already a no-shit situation. Like, why would you? But then at the same time, you did see this front office really aggressive when it came to someone like Tyrese Halliburton years ago. Different situation as well. Different player as well. So what Keegan Murray is as a player on this team is something, but you look at him as a player in the NBA, he is a body type that everyone wants. He is a guy that can do it on both ends that all teams would want. And I just look at him and where he can seriously elevate and take his game in the position and the role that he's in with this team. And it makes me super excited for his future.
His final stat line tonight, 47 points. He missed 7 shots, 16 of 23. He was 12 of 15 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line. He also had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals tonight in 36 minutes of action. It was an interesting night at Golden One Center. Before the game, felt like kind of a sleepy, late arriving crowd. Like, the Utah Jazz are in town. Okay. It didn't seem like the crowd was super fired up ahead of time. It was kind of a late arriving crowd. Dude, that crowd was going so crazy. I've been to so many Kings games over the years. I'm so fortunate to be able to go to these games, right?
Yeah.
I've seen amazing performances.
Sure.
I've watched LeBron drop 50 in a game. I've seen Dame. I've seen, DeMarcus have a 55-point game or whatever it was against Portland. There's so many great performances over the years. This might be one of the best I've ever seen in person. No, because one, it's one of your guys doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's not someone from the opposing team.
Thank God.
You're at home. But I think the Kings, it wasn't like they were forcing it with Keegan. Like, this all came in the flow of the offense.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like, Keegan was foul hunting and
Find him.
he shot 20 free throws tonight. It was lethal shooting. It was making the right plays, finding the open man, and shooting it with confidence. Hell, one of the plays tonight, Keegan passed up a good look from 3. I looked over at the Kings bench. I saw Luke Laux put up his hand like, shoot it. Keegan gave it to Sabonis.
Yeah.
Then Sabonis got right back to Keegan in the corner, who stepped into a 3.
Oh my God. Yes, I remember that. That was in the way that he stepped back. I was like, wait, is he even behind the 3-point line at that point? And it was just like, you just felt his energy, his confidence in the way that he was shooting the ball. It was give him the ball and get out of his way. And you talk about how efficiently he did this. I thought this was interesting. Willsie's stats put out when Keegan Murray tied Buddy Hield's record at 11. So he said Keegan Murray ties Buddy for most made threes in Kings history with 11. So at that point, it took Buddy 21 attempts to make those 11 threes, and it only took Keegan that 12 to get to that 11 straight threes. Incredible.
It was just insane. Oh, so insane that after the Warriors game tonight, Steph Curry was asked about it. Here's what Steph had to say when he was informed that Keegan had a monster night.
Keegan Murray started 12 of 13 from 3. You've hit
what?
Yeah, in the first 3 quarters. You've hit 13 in the game before. It's still going on.
He got hit with it. Clay hypothetically had 18 in Chicago if he would have stayed in the game. And is it still going on?
Well, just how
He's
difficult.
still at. This is dope. He's still at 12.
I think so.
Pull it up, Anthony. Come on. Yes.
How would you just describe that record, just in terms of its difficulty to achieve? You and Clay have both been up there.
I mean, when the team knows you're hot, they're gonna start to shade your way, take your looks away. You gotta sustain that over the course of a game. 12 or 13 is nuts. He's getting them up. He's getting them up. How much time's left? Stay tuned. No, but we'll see. But it's tough because you have to find good looks. Obviously, stay hot the whole game. Clay was wild because he was 14 for like 21 or something like that in 3 quarters. Took me the whole game when I hit 13. Honestly, I'm surprised still that it's still 14 because of how many threes are getting up these days. But it's cool that Clay still got it for now.
Okay, the fact that one of the best shooter of all time.
There you go.
The best shooter of all time
There
was
you
like,
go.
I'm sorry, what? He's 12 of 13.
Loved that reaction.
This is the perspective that we need to have tonight. This doesn't happen all the time, okay? Keegan Murray, 24 games into his sophomore season in the NBA, hit 12 of 15 from 3, 2 away from the NBA record, 47 points. Fox's career high is 44. They were doing some talking about that during the game a little bit. What Keegan Murray did tonight was special. It was absolutely special, and it's right. Like, the Kings just kept playing the right way. Utah, you're going to stay in a little, you throw your junk defenses out there. You're going to, play some zone. We're going to keep moving the ball. We're going to keep attacking. One of my favorite plays from Keegan tonight.
Yeah.
He got it from beyond the arc, put the ball on the floor, threw a bullet pass to Keon Ellis in the corner. Keon didn't take the three. He put the ball on the floor. Keegan relocated beyond the three-point line, and Keon Ellis fired it to him, buried a three. They played a really good game of basketball tonight against a shorthanded Jazz team. No denying that. Utah's super shorthanded.
Sure.
But what Sacramento did tonight was they played how they need to play every night, and that's with pace. Something worth noting, Morgan. I know you want to get in there.
That's okay.
Do you want to get in here about the Keegan stuff first?
No. Go.
So Utah, the last two games before tonight, they decided we're going to play zone all the time.
Oh, yes.
They were averaging about 60 zone defensive possessions a game. That's insane, right? And tonight, they did it. They went box and one on Sabonis, meaning they had one guy all over Sabonis. Fontecchio was on him at first, just all over him, like denying him the ball, playing physical, while the other four guys play his zone defense. Okay? They did that to Sabonis tonight. They then, when Sabonis was out and Monk was in, they did that to Monk. The one thing you have to do against a team that's going to play junk defenses, throw a whole bunch of different looks, matchup zones, box and one, is you have to play fast. Sacramento played fast. They had a brief moment in the second quarter where it got a little disjointed when they went box and one on Malik Monk, but they played with pace tonight. And then, even in the half court, I felt like they adjusted better later where they went, let's set some screens for Sabonis so Sexton's on him. And then there's mismatches galore. They picked the zone apart tonight. They played with pace, and if they were in the half court, they picked it apart. A brilliant game, and they did it without De'Aaron Fox. I love how they played.
Yeah, and a few things going off of everything that you just said.
Sorry.
Because, no. I loved it. I'm
a little amped up tonight.
Hey.
I'm playing with pace tonight.
All
Deuce
right.
Mason's a little fired up. I feel like Keegan right now. Give me the ball. I'm sorry. It's Saturday night, babe.
All right, gave you your chance,
Yeah,
and then
my
you
bad,
kept
my
going
bad.
with it.
Sorry.
That's where usually Mike Brown would be
back
like,
to
hey,
you.
you're sitting on the bench. Okay. Where was I going with that point? It was the Jazz. Oh, them being health, shorthanded, all those things. Great. The Kings were doing what you're supposed to do. They executed the things that they're supposed to do. And the amount of times this season that we've had to talk so much shit about their losses and how horrible they were. And then in their wins, playing perfectly. And I just felt like in this win, without De'Aaron Fox, that is like one of the key things to this is that they continue to have this consistent identity throughout the four quarters. And when that zone defense did screw with them just for a little bit, I believe when that second rotation came in, they figured it out. They made adjustments. And then they went, okay, this is actually how we need to break it. Or this is actually what we need to do. Sure, when your shots are going in, it makes life a little bit easier when you're going down the other end to make sure you get your hands up, grab those defensive rebounds, get the ball up, outlet, go. All those things. Push, pace. But it's just like you talked about with that ball going in the corner and then Keegan relocating, all those little moves kept happening and all those little details mattered so much. And I just felt like the Kings were so locked in on that end of the floor when this zone was thrown at them. And they were like, this is some of the easiest defense to break. And at times it can really screw with teams. And that's where I was shocked even that the Jazz didn't mix it up a little bit more, because I'm like, that is when you disrupt a team for the most part, is when you really throw different looks at them. But instead they stuck with it, wasn't working, and the Kings just kept capitalizing on their flaws.
It felt like that's really all they had.
Yeah.
They've been shorthanded. They pretty much played with 8 guys, Johnny Juzang and Micah Potter, who are two-way players. I just called one of their games in Stockton. They got in the final 4:22 of this game.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they played 8 guys. But yeah, I was really impressed with how Sacramento handled it. And they handled it exactly how they needed to tonight. The ball movement was superb. And, playing zone against a really good shooting team is tough to do. And their whole thing was like, all right, if we're going to do that box and one with Sabonis, at least maybe we can take him out of the game. But the Kings adjusted well, like I said. And then when you're knocking down threes, the Kings hit 22 of 45. Jeez. All of a sudden, they're starting to knock down threes again.
Love it.
And that's a good sign. The only blip they had was that game at LA against the Clippers. But the last 3 home games, it's been amazing 3-point shooting. Let's also note the fact that they are playing really good basketball on the home floor. I believe they're now 9-3 at Golden One Center. That's huge. I want them to we talked about this in our little preview we did today. Like, this can be a trap game if you're not locked in, especially, without De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. It's like, you got to play discipline.
Well, and especially with the energy, like you're talking about in the arena, like all those little things can factor in, and they didn't allow those things, to factor in or dictate how they were going to play this game. They said, no matter what, we are playing here. We are playing our game. You saw Sabonis from the start. I think he was 7 for 7. I forget when he missed his first shot, but even him, he was being aggressive, going at it, and all those bunnies he's been missing in all these other games. It felt like he was focused and knew exactly what he needed to do to execute in the paint too.
It's amazing his night gets overshadowed a bit tonight.
I know.
He only had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists on 9 of 10 shooting.
Great
night for Domantas Sabonis. One of my favorite stats tonight, and we got to talk more about Keegan because I have some questions for you.
Absolutely.
The Kings had 3 players with 7 or more assists tonight. 3 players. Sabonis was 1. He had 8.
Yeah.
Malik Monk off the bench in 26 minutes had 8 assists.
Jeez.
And Keon Ellis, who got ejected from this game, had 7 assists in 26 minutes. He got the start in place of De'Aaron Fox tonight. Morgan, I love the fact that they finished with 36 assists on 46 megs. It was a great game for the Kings, and I left going, man, Keegan Murray. It was one of those nights that, like, here's a great example.
Okay.
Your sister.
Oh, yes.
And her husband had tickets to the game tonight. They were supposed to go with friends. The friends, one of them got sick. So they were like, oh, we're going to sell our tickets. He's a huge Keegan Murray fan, right?
Huge.
But it's Kings Jazz. On the surface, you're going Kings Jazz without De'Aaron Fox. My guy Ebiz was in our Discord. I typed, no Fox tonight. He goes, what? I'm pissed. I just bought tickets. No De'Aaron Fox. This sucks. It's a great example of you just never know what you're going to see when you go to a sporting event.
Nope.
There's probably people tonight going, I'm at a Christmas party tonight. I could skip this game tonight.
Sure.
Or I'm busy. It's a Jazz, no Fox. You never know what you're going to see. And tonight was just such a special night, not only for Keegan, but just in Kings franchise history.
Yep.
To see a player get nuclear hot like that is just so fun to watch.
But,
and I'm really happy for Keegan.
But on top of that, it was all the things around it that went well too, right? It wasn't like, oh no, the Jazz made it close, made it a game late in this one, and it overshadowed Keegan's game, or it took away from what Keegan accomplished tonight. None of those things happened, and I just loved the way that they stuck to it, kept going. And I was waiting for you, and I know you're going to go to some more stats in a second, but I was waiting for you to be like, what was going so right for Keegan tonight? Just asking me that, because that's usually your angles of things. And I'm watching his shots tonight, and I just felt like, zero hesitation.
Yes.
That was like my number one thing that I was looking at, like with his mechanics. And I just thought, wow, he was letting it fly. Now, obviously not as fast as Sasha Vezenkov. That guy can release the ball quicker than anyone else in this league. But he did not hesitate. It wasn't even like, oh man, he was so confident just tonight. It was just Keegan. That's what I felt like. It was just, this is who he is. This is what he does or / can do though.
Yes. I want to look at what he was because when you hit 12 of 15 from 3, it's really going to help your shooting percentage, right?
Yeah.
And I want to offer some perspective about how much it helps your shooting percentage. So coming into tonight's game,
oh no,
Keegan Murray was 30.4% from 3.
Okay.
30% from 3. Last year, he's 40%. So 30%. After tonight's game, after his record-setting night, his percentage jumps to 35.7%.
Let's go. That's all you need to do. That's
What a
all
way!
you need to do.
What a way to raise your dude. He raised his 3-point percentage by over 5% tonight.
Hey,
Isn't that insane?
have a really good game, and that can happen to you too.
Oh,
That really is insane when you.
Oh, wait. I need to look at something
Compare
else
that.
too, because this is going to be hilarious. All right.
What?
We're going to play a game called Keegan Murray stats before tonight on the season and then after tonight.
Okay.
Headed into tonight.
I'm not looking.
Keegan Murray was averaging 13.8 points,
Okay.
5.6 rebounds
Okay.
on 41% shooting and 30% from three. After tonight, he's averaging 15.5 points, 44% shooting, and as I mentioned, 35.7% from three.
Hey, 47-point game with a really efficient 3-point shooting game.
Right?
We'll do that for you. That's insane. I've never have looked at a player's stats like that after a big game, and that is crazy how it can take such a big jump. Now we do have to look at something else. Steph Curry talked about it in his postgame. He goes, when guys see that you have the hot hand, they play differently on you, blah, 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 blah. As they move forward, when Keegan has a night like this and like the NBA is pushing it out there, Steph Curry's talking about it, like teams already game plan for these players and what's going on, but I feel like there's going to be a little bit more attention on him again. Kind of how like there was last year. But now you're also seeing this year his conditioning has completely changed because of the way that he is putting so much energy on the defensive end. But I feel like he's starting to figure it out, like where he needs to be. And I feel like the minutes are also help, the experience, all of that. The training is helping him lead him into this. So I just hope he continues to keep putting the ball on the floor too, because every single time he does, he's just a threat in both ways. And then they will have to respect him in both ways.
Another thing about Keegan is he's a pretty good passer too.
Yeah, he is.
This guy's a stud. He's a stud. All right, well, we should find out. Is he our Roc Sol Player of the game tonight?
I mean, yes. Why don't I have any say over it? There's two of us on this podcast.
I come up with it. I did a little differently tonight. Our Roc Sol Player of the game, I'm going to go with the guy that had to fill a big void tonight. Keon Ellis. He had 7 assists tonight in place of De'Aaron Fox. Played 26 minutes. I know he got ejected, but I'm giving Keon Ellis the Roc Sol Player of the game. I'm kidding.
Hey!
Duh, come on. Roc Sol Player of the game. Keegan Murray, 47 points, 8 rebounds on a franchise record 12 of 53. I had someone tweet me go, if Keegan Murray's not the Roc Sol Player of the game, I'd be so mad or something like that. And shout out to the person in our Discord tonight, I forget the name, who sent me a picture. They were watching the game at Roc Sol because it's just 6 blocks away from Golden One Center.
Yeah.
And you could save a lot of money when you go there.
Well, it's so funny because my sister went before the game too, and she said we got 25% off the entire bill. So yes, make sure you guys, because it is worth it, go to Roc Sol before home games between 4:30 and 6:30, and then obviously when they're away and home, you can just go watch the game there, get 50% off appetizers and drinks.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Let's give some love to everyone watching us live. Sometimes I do a bad job of showing love to you guys in the chat. The chat's going crazy now. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Geeky Nana, who donated $2. Thank you so much. Shout out to Biggity Blake, who says, it's my birthday and the beam will be lit if I want it to.
Hey!
And he gave us $20 on his birthday.
On your birthday?
Yeah. Well, happy birthday and congratulations on the birthday beam.
Yeah. Thank you, and happy birthday, Beam.
Also, thank you so much to everyone hanging out with us here. It's crazy to see the chat pop in. What's up, Sydney and Jake, Johnny, Manny, Curtis, Zay,
Saturday night.
Mike. Thank you so much, Primo. You guys are literally the best.
Cheers to hanging out on a Saturday night with all of you.
After a win, they're 15-9. Just for, I'm trying to remember if I had this right. Yes.
Okay.
So they were 14-10 at this time last year.
Okay.
They didn't get their 15th win last year until they were 15-12 on the season. So 15-9 with Washington coming up. Go ahead.
With De'Aaron Fox missing another game.
With De'Aaron Fox missing another game.
6 games this season?
Maybe.
No, that he's missed.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty
I don't
sure.
know. I didn't know off the top of my head. Thank you so much.
You know everything.
To Keegan Murray Watch, you donate $10 saying this is just the beginning.
Aw, that's sweet. I'm happy for you because you're obviously a big Keegan fan.
Morgan, we've spent obviously so much time talking about Keegan Murray's big game tonight.
Yeah.
I did just I think we did focus on some of the other aspects too, but I thought Domantas Sabonis was fantastic, like you said, just making sure to finish inside the paint. I wanted to bring up his shot chart tonight because we did spend some time last game where I was like,
The bunnies.
he's gotta finish better in the paint, and he had a lot of misses in the paint last game, but I'm bringing up his shot chart now for you guys to take a look at it because it was beautiful tonight. Ooh. The only shot he missed tonight was a 3.
Wow.
So take a look at that. That's not the right one. This is Domantas Sabonis in the paint tonight. Let's also know, after Deuce Mason said he can't go 6 of 15 in the paint. He's just got to be more efficient in there. We need more from Sabonis. He's got to finish at the rim. Dude was 9 of 9 in the paint tonight with 18 points.
He said, shut the F up, Deuce.
Deuce, what are you talking about, you clown ass?
Dude.
Domantas Sabonis has definitely not listened to our pod.
No, definitely not. But I definitely feel like he recognized it on his own. And there was a different type of focus from him. I'm telling you right from the start. And anyone, you can keep going and saying anything like, oh, but it's the Jazz or it's an unhealthy Jazz team, blah, 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 blah. Like, they had their bigs in there, 1. 2, it's the NBA. There's going to be nights that you play the shittiest team and it's still tough. Like, we just saw the Wizards beat the Pacers the other night, and we saw the Spurs finally get a win, and they got a win over the Lakers. It's the NBA. Things happen. But I just love when people are controlling what they can control. And Domas Sabonis can make and is capable of making all these shots in the paint, especially the way that he gets so big, creates that space for himself, angles himself well. But on the nights that he's missing those, you can just tell there's something going on with the way that it's flicking off his fingertips or the way that he may or may not be completely engaged or present in that exact moment. So tonight, very present, did a fantastic job.
Look at Keegan Murray's shot chart I just put on the screen. How beautiful is that with all those threes? Yeah, they did such a great job getting him some clean looks. One of my favorites was Sabonis pushing in transition just with a drop-off pass with Keegan trailing. And I forget who. It might have been Sexton playing just a little off of him. He had another one where Sexton was on him. And what I love to give him a little jab step.
Yeah.
And then launch the 3 over Sexton. And that was the franchise record there when he hit his 12th 3. So many good ones. He had one on a look ahead. They got him on a look ahead pass, and he was in the corner, and it was just great. It's like, yes, you want to sprint down the court, get into stuff fast, get to the corner. You're going to get a good look. You got a clean look there and buried it.
You talk about things not being forced. There was times there in that fourth quarter where it felt like, yeah, sure, everyone wants Keegan to shoot the ball, but they were going to continue to play their game and finish this one strong. And I think Kevin Huerter ended up hitting a 3, and then Malik Monk ended up hitting a 3. I think Keegan missed one at that point, but then there was,
by the way, can we say one thing about that? Keegan Murray's misses from 3 tonight
were good looks.
They were like rattled in and out.
Yeah, no, he was feeling it. And then that's why, but I loved that he was still, you could tell in some of their actions, they were still running all the way through it. They weren't just like, oh, no, have Keegan come back up and get this and have him come off the DHO. It was like, no, he's going to complete this action. He's going to go set a screen for Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is going to come up, and then Keegan's going to get the DHO. Oh, he didn't get it? Okay, great. He's going to do a backdoor cut and get an easy 2. And then you saw that happen. I think that was one of his last buckets that he got
the jam.
Yes, that's what it was. It was the jam. And it was just
like
because
a give and go.
He was
and he cuts
moving
to the
without the basketball.
Yes,
yeah, so he just
great.
stayed focused, kept playing a good game, and then Mike Brown didn't let him stay in to try and get 50. Instead, he said, get your ass out of here. You did a great job. And I think they gave him the game ball, and nobody tried taking it away from him.
No one tried stealing the game ball. One thing Mike Brown said post-game, I don't know if you heard this, but one of the things he was bringing up was like how he believed they played the right way too, and that because of that, he's like, I believe that good things happen when you play the right way. And Keegan was getting the ball because we were playing the right way.
He's all about the basketball
We weren't trying
gods.
to force it. Like, the ball had
Yes.
energy, and the ball was going to find its way back to
Yes.
Keegan, and something was going to happen.
Amen.
So, yeah, I completely agree with that.
No.
I mean, just what a
Mike-
fun night.
Mike Brown has talked about the basketball gods before, and he's like, oh, you don't want to make the basketball gods angry. And I'm like, thank you for believing in the basketball gods. Like, amen. Amen. Yep. Fun night. Obviously, Keegan Murray fun, but also I love the way that this team played.
Does a night like this with Keegan change? I don't know. Well, I mean, I know you're high on Keegan in general.
Say it.
So does it change how you feel? Like, do you go, man, maybe he can be even better than I think? Or
No,
do
because
you-
I already thought this. I already, like, this, again, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And what Keegan did last year, I was, yay, excited. This is great. He's going to grow off that. What he started showing this season on the defensive end, I didn't give a shit that the shots were being missed. Like, they were going to go in at some point.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to go in like this every single night, but he's still going to be more efficient in his game. The thing with Keegan Murray, what we are witnessing right now from the start of the season, preseason to right now, is a guy that is putting in so much work to becoming a better all-around player, two-way player, that it has taken away different aspects of his game, but it's only to ultimately become better at all the aspects of the game. I believed it. I saw it. Sure, I believe it even more after a game like this, but I already knew it.
We live in a world where we want instant gratification.
Everyone
right?
does.
You order something online, waiting 2 days for it doesn't make sense.
No, prime that shit.
I want it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend more to get it in 2 hours,
So
right?
gross. We are so gross.
But, we have to understand that there are going to be ups and downs for a young player, right?
yes.
What's a good example? It's kind of like me building a Lego set. I'm building my Home Alone Lego set. Hear me out.
Oh,
Hear me out.
somehow we're coming back
Hear
to
me
the
out.
Legos. Yeah, go on.
I'm building a home.
on, Miles.
The McAllister's house, right?
Just say what it is.
The Home Alone house.
There you go. The
McAllister.
McAllister's house.
Everyone knows the McAllisters.
Go on.
Anyway, when I'm building this, when I'm taking my time building it, I know what the end result's going to be. But like today, I'm building it. I put a piece in the wrong spot, and you're like, you're getting frustrated. And then you have to go back a little bit, tweak some things. Oh, I got it. That's a young player in the league. It's not going to be like, I just built everything, and here's this beautiful Lego house, the McAllister house. No, it takes time.
And things are going to hurt and fall apart. You're going to get injured.
I'm going to spill a beer while I'm making a Lego,
my
or I'm going to accidentally knock something over. Or I'm going to put something in the wrong spot, but then I'm going to build it. As long as I stay present and understand that, hey, here's my mission. This is what I got to do. I got to stay focused.
That's
I
how
gotta
you
keep
take on
working
those
hard.
challenges.
That's what life is like.
You continue.
It's a Lego set, man. And be patient with these young guys. Be patient when you see the good. Understand it and stop. Also, be patient with this process. Can I just say one thing tonight?
Life is a Lego set.
Life is a Lego set, but also the instant gratification part I'm going to. The Kings ended a playoff drought last year, right? It was such a amazing time, right? To make the playoffs for the first time.
Amazing.
You went to 7-game series with the Golden State Warriors, a fun brand of basketball. It was incredible. You get that, and now people want a championship the next
Yes.
year. And I'm going, guys. If you've been a Kings fan for a long time, you know it's not that easy. They haven't won a championship here. And we all love those early 2000s Kings teams, right? Oh, they were such a fun style. They got bounced in the first round the first few years. It took them a while to get out of the first round, advance, and get to the conference finals. And that's where they peaked. It may take a little time, but they've got the ingredients now.
Yeah.
Now it's on Monty to keep molding this, right? Just like Jeff Petrie kept molding it. He didn't just stand pat and go, we got Jay Will, everything's good to go. It's like, no, Jay Will got us to this point. We're going to go get a Mike Bibby. We're going to go get a Doug Christie. We're going to go. There's tweaks that are made and put yourself in a position. Trust your work, trust your process. Let's go.
Sometimes there's numbers that you're like, well, we want to see these numbers better. Well, these numbers got worse. Well, this numbers did this. But you have to, if you appreciate and love the sport and respect the sport and you see things actually getting better, getting better, even if the numbers don't always prove it. Like, we don't have to all be analytic whores, you know, like we can.
Whoa.
Really?
Used to be stat hoes, and now you're saying
Well,
analytic whores.
It's all of the above. Don't
Okay.
be a stat hoe. Don't be an analytic whore. And my point is, like, trust your eyeballs when you are seeing progress, when you're seeing growth, development, because I think that's what makes sports altogether so fun. But that to me brings me so much joy in this game when you see that type of growth. And that's what makes it so fun, being able to cover a team like this night in and night out, because you'll sometimes see it from practice to practice, or like the way that people respond to a certain style of communication. You know, like I think when, as you even see Mike Brown grow as a coach and the different ways that he communicates, which it mostly feels the same, but then there'll be different verbiage, or there'll be different things that he changes. Like, I feel like last year we heard the no hesies, and I feel like this year you're seeing the importance of no hesies, no hesitations when they get the ball in their hands, 0.5 seconds, whatever, pass the ball, get rid of quick decisions. I feel like that really soaked in even more after a year together of doing it.
Yes.
Facts.
More reps.
Yeah.
More experience. Mm-hmm. Something else I want to bring up tonight. We talk about where does Keegan Murray stack up in the Sacramento era history. 47 points tonight.
Yeah.
Well, the other player who scored 47 points in a Kings game, the Hall of Famer, Mitch Richmond. Kevin Martin scored 48 points 2 times. DeMarcus Cousins also had a 48-point game. Kevin Martin had a 50-point game. Wow. Chris Webber had a 51-point game in a loss to Indiana.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that game. DeMarcus Cousins scored 55 and then 56 points. That was against Portland and I believe Charlotte, those games. So, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's now 5 players who have scored 47 or more in a Kings game in the Sacramento era. Keegan Murray is one of those players.
Dope. I love it.
And he broke the Sacramento era record with 26 points in a quarter, surpassing Mitch Richmond, who had 25 points in a quarter. Shout out to my guy, Jason Ross, for looking up all those stats.
Good job, Jay Ross. Yeah, I think they were asking him about that in the post game. I forget exactly what the question was about, but like Keegan, you know what I love? You know, like it can seem robotic sometimes when guys goes, yeah, I couldn't do this without my team, blah, 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 like team. You could feel it when he was talking about it, about like, you know, well, my teammates did this. Like that is why I was able to do what I was able to do tonight. Oh, look at that.
Smiling with the game ball, man.
The game ball.
Keegan Murray smiling, man.
That is real. I loved seeing him smile multiple times tonight. I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for this team too, because they really do enjoy celebrating one another. Let me just say this.
I thought I heard that they threw water on him after the game, but I've been looking for the video. But
okay, I didn't see that. Okay. But this will come out. I did a King Central with Chris Duarte, and that there was a point that we were talking. What a gem of a human, by the way. There's a point that we're talking. He's talking about how much fun he's having, and he goes, "I know I'm not playing a lot of minutes right now, but that's not the point, because the amount of fun basketball that I am playing, the amount that we want to celebrate one another, and I'm on the bench cheering them on." Like, you're hearing a pro talk about the joy he has just encouraging one another. And that doesn't happen all the time when you have to like step back and understand your role. But truly, it's a genuine feeling that I think is so mutual with this team. And when you have that, ride with it. It's special, and don't let anyone F with it.
I mean, it's pretty amazing to hear stuff like that. I mean, I remember Terrence Davis said something similar too, right? Like,
yes.
When Terrence Davis at the end of last season was like, I played fewer minutes than ever, but I had more fun. I learned more about basketball then. So it goes to like, hey, they're starting to create a culture here of like, yeah, we are all in. We all have to buy in. And even if we're not playing well, or we're not getting ours, or we're not in the rotation, how can we be a supportive teammate? How can we still be a part of the team? So yeah, we talked so much about Keegan Murray tonight for good reason. I do want to hit on Keon real fast too. Keon Ellis, I feel like what he does out there, just kind of goes under the radar. He plays his ass off.
Yeah.
What I appreciate about Keon, this guy's grinded, right? Undrafted to G League to two-way. I don't know that he was on Mike Brown's radar before the season. They were talking about, hey, who's going to be that third point guard? Could it be Keon or Colby? And Colby was kind of ahead of him. Jordan Ford's name got mentioned.
Yep.
Shout out Jordan Ford, who had 37 points for Stockton tonight.
Rocked it tonight
against Santa Cruz. But he kept working hard, and when he goes out there, he doesn't try to do too much.
Yeah.
He goes out there and plays hard, making the extra pass. 7 assists for him in this game.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the thing. If you were to, you want to talk about a stat ho, you go to the box score and you go look at it and you go, oh, Keon Ellis, 2 points, 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 2 at the free throw line. That's not what the story of his game was. This was a guy that stepped up and initiated the offense. This was a guy that was out there to be a De'Aaron Fox and start. And you really picture this. Malik Monk is coming off the bench. When De'Aaron Fox is not even playing. I just love how they're all about staying true to their roles and what they're trying to accomplish. And so, Keon, when he was out there for his 26 minutes before he did get ejected with that second technical, which, by the way, I'm just going to say it, bullshit. He's a two-way guy that was being disrespected by the officiating crew because that's Draymond Green. Draymond Green could do whatever the shit he wants out
Both
there.
technicals were rough. Sexton and him were going at it a little bit. They gave him double technicals. Sexton was the one that deserved the technical. And then I thought he got fouled in transition, and he said something to the ref about it and then got tossed. Soft ejection tonight. But anyway, Keon Ellis, the other thing I was looking up tonight going into the game.
Yeah.
Deflections. All right, because he's so long, 6'8.5" wingspan, very active hands. He had 2 deflections in the Kings win against OKC in his minutes, which is a pretty solid number, right?
Yeah.
He is averaging coming into tonight 1.2 deflections per game in 12 minutes. It's not like his minutes have been crazy. Now, the last couple of games, his minutes go up. My point is, it shows you how active he is in that regard. Also, shout out to Megaloo, who tagged me on this. The Kings posted the Keegan video on Threads. Keegan Murray walking into the locker room, and they all throw water on him. They're just dumping water, cooling him down after being red hot tonight.
Oh, my God.
Thinking about it.
Oh, my God. That is so cute.
Yeah.
So cute. Ugh. So much love. So much love for all this.
Who else should we talk about tonight? I will say this. I need to take a brief time out.
For what?
I want another beer.
Wow. I mean, there's still some in there.
Yeah, but I'm going to need more.
Oh, Deuce is feeling good on a Saturday night.
Keegan, see what you did to me?
Yeah, well, we already touched on Domas Sabonis, and we went over his shot chart and everything. So, let's see. I guess, you know what, Deuce? I really want to just touch on Kevin Huerter with a little bit of a bounce back game, if you want to call it that.
He had a deep 3. Utah was trying to make a little bit of a run, a little sneaky run after the Kings got up big. He had a deep 3.
I think he's gonna be
some great passes tonight too.
Yes, and I think he's gonna keep adjusting to this role. Like, look, if I'm going to play 25 minutes, I know what I need to accomplish in those 25. If I come out as a starter, I need to be a guy that sets the tone. He did play only 25 minutes too, because obviously he got in that foul trouble. Like, was that the first quarter or was that just the first half? I forget.
Yes. No, he picked up, I want to go back to my notes here. When did he pick up? He got his second foul. And it was a terrible call by the officials. He was contesting a Sexton drive. He didn't touch him. And of course,
was that the transition one?
Yes.
Oh.
And where did he touch him? On my angle, I did not see him touch him.
I thought maybe after. No. And I'm saying that because at first I was like, he didn't touch him. Yeah. And then I saw like 2 different angles because I was watching from here. So I was like, maybe he touched his hand late. And that's why Mike Brown also wasn't going to like pull the trigger and challenge again super early. So.
Yeah, I kind of wanted him to challenge there. But then he picked up a third. But yeah, No, I thought he had some nice moments in this one. Kevin Huerter finished with 11 points, 4 of 6 shooting. He only played 24 minutes, but had 5 assists. I thought he did a great job making some nice passes in this one. I really liked how he played tonight. And also, can we give some love? I mean, maybe he only plays well against Utah this year, but Harrison Barnes.
Yep. 33 minutes for him. He finished with 16 points, 4 boards, but he had 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And again, I felt like some of his threes were in those moments where I don't know. When he knocks down those threes, there's something different about it. It's like, yes, the team needed to see that from you. And yes, I think he needs to see that from himself. Just solid. He was solid out there. No De'Aaron Fox out there. And I was just hoping he wasn't going to have one of those games where he wasn't contributing. I already mentioned that, the 4 rebounds. I always like when he just making sure that you're going in, crashing the boards.
Yeah, I thought he had a nice game. Knocking down his shots, too. 3 of 5 from downtown. Malik Monk, his shooting numbers at the end of it, 6 of 16, not great, but I mean, you just, again, impacted the game. He had 18 points, 8 dimes, 4 rebounds in this game. I think he was part of my favorite play of the game. One of my favorite plays of the game.
Which one?
It was Sabonis in transition. I think it was off a turnover. Sabonis pushing, okay? It was. You know what it was? Here's exactly what it was. One of my favorite plays of the game.
Okay.
Keegan was playing some great defense on Markkanen, okay? Forced him to the baseline, and Markkanen, like, cut him off, and Markkanen tried to force a pass. Sabonis was there for the steal because he was there to help. Sabonis pushes. Lyles is running the floor, I believe, and so is Malik Monk. He could have thrown it out. He decides in transition to lob it up to Malik Monk for the dunk.
Yes.
And then Sabonis is just skipping up the court like, woo! Dude. I love that play. I can see it now. It was so fun.
That was so Sabonis. And just to give a little bit more love to Sabonis, remember one of the first plays of the game where he got the steal and went all the way down the court for the layup. I'm just like, anyone that wants to talk shit that this big can't dribble or this big doesn't do other things, it's you just because he can't be a 7-footer that is blocking everybody's shot out there doesn't mean that he's not doing a great job with so many other things that bigs are not doing.
Scotty, see you mentioning another sweet Monk pass. I remember his underhand pass to Keegan for 3. Do you remember that? He kind of shoveled it. God, it was so beautiful.
I don't know why I don't remember that
Plays
pass.
with such great energy. Yeah, just saying the Sabonis to Monk lob. Exactly what I was talking about. Someone else in the chat, Jask says, Kings get weird when their lead is huge. Start throwing up some junk sometimes. Yeah, I think sometimes, and that's where you go, hey, good thing you're up by, I think they got up by as many as 30 tonight. Utah, I think they cut it to 18 or something like that? No, it got cut more than that.
No, it got cut even more. But I think when it did, that probably was like the third quarter. Yeah. Well, either way, it's, I always look at it too as it's a game of runs. It's hard to keep that lead. It
was in the fourth. They were up 30. Yeah, they were up 106-76, and the Kings actually scored 6 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. The Kings ended up finishing. They were outscored 28-19 in the fourth. So yeah, it got a little stagnant, got a little sloppy at times, and you definitely keep your foot in the gas. And you know what? I appreciate that message because you're subscribing to. Some people think it's my quote, but it's not my quote. You can attribute it to me.
What?
You don't accept in victory, Morgan.
Heard this,
you do not accept in victory what you wouldn't accept in defeat. Live by that.
So dramatic. Live
by that.
Live by that. We saw.
What? Go ahead.
No, please. Do you want to keep talking about your quote?
No.
Are you sure?
I just wanted for accuracy. I just want to see what it got cut down to.
Make sure.
Yeah, it did. It was at 7:17. It was one. No, it's 112.92. Where is it at? I think it got down to 14 or something. Yeah. Okay. It got down to 14 at 5:14. The go is 114-100. And then Huerter hit that 3, that deep 3.
That's
then Monk
what
hit a 3.
was.
Then it was over. They got it back.
Yeah, I totally screwed that up in my mind. I was like, that was the third quarter. No,
it all blurs together,
the fourth. Man. It was the fourth. And I remember when that was going down. But it never felt like when that was happening that they got deflated or anything. They responded. The big 3. And then I think Malik had a 3 or what. they just kept control of the game after that and knew what they had to do to finish out strong. And they finished out so strong that the last couple of minutes they were able to put people like Juan Toscano-Anderson in for 2 minutes. And he had that assist. He was on the ground and he had the ball and he got it out. I think it was to Sasha for 3. Was that the 3-pointer that Sasha had in this game? Do you remember that late in the game?
I remember Sasha hitting a
with
3.
Like
Let me just double check. I'm looking back at the play-by-play. Yeah, it was from Juan Toscano-Anderson and Morgan. I got to be honest.
You don't remember that one?
I think I was typing a note.
Okay.
I remember Sasha hitting the 3. I didn't see how it happened.
I'll tell you. He was...
My guy JTA coming in, number
Dude,
95.
He was hustling for the ball, whatever slipped, or I don't even know how it happened, but he got on the ground for the ball, got on the ground, and is on the ground, passes it out to Sasha 3, and I'm like, that's an assist. I was just super excited about it for JTA.
Shout out JTA, 2 rebounds and an assist in just 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I was watching him before the game. He was warming up, and I'm like, oh, he's shooting the 3 pretty well. It was encouraging, because he's not known as a 3-point shooter. I know it's just warming up, but some people also wondering, why is he wearing number 95? He is the first player in Kings history to wear 95. It's kind of a unique number, right?
Yeah.
He grew up in 95th Avenue in Oakland, California. So that's why he reps his neighborhood.
Do you have that information from when he was playing some G League games that you were calling?
I probably had that on my sheet because I called some of his games when he was with Santa Cruz, but I was reading more about him yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's right. Where's number 95? There's not many 90s in Kings history. 93, Ron Artest.
I was going to say Ron Artest was in the 90s, but I don't know. Well, I barely retain what happened yesterday. What is the day? I just don't know. So how am I going to remember jersey numbers? I
knew that was the other 90. The other 90 is from a player who played. Believe this or not, guys.
I don't believe it.
There's been 3 players in Kings history to wear number 90, okay?
Okay.
Ron Artest, Juan Toscano-Anderson, and the other player to wear the actual number of 90, right? So 93 for Artest, 95 for JTA. The other player played 1 game for the Kings.
I don't know.
Drew Gooden. He got traded here, and then they bought him out. He ended up going to San Antonio after that. He wore the number 90.
I'll never forget him or that jersey.
I'm a big JTA guy. I love Juan Toscano-Anderson, and I'm not trying to pump him up like he's going to be like some amazing savior. I mean, he's on the final roster spot at the moment on a non-guaranteed deal, according to James Ham. What I like about him, ultimate team guy, a grinder. The guy is strong, good size. He knows one thing, and it's to go out there and play hard and play the right way. And I think it's a good guy to have in your locker room.
I mean, look, you said 2 rebounds and 1 assist in his under 2 minutes that he played. And it's just, that's exactly it. When you have a guy that you know what he's about and doing all the little things, and you're just trying to fill up the rest of the roster, have some depth, especially if there are moves that this team makes at the trade deadline, you want to make sure that you have some pieces on there that know the system. And
and he knows Mike Brown from his days with the Warriors. Of course, he knows Luke Laux, who was with the Warriors, Leandro Barbosa.
Right. So all in all, though, Deuce, wow, Trey Lyles didn't score tonight, which I thought was interesting because I was gonna.
He did have 8 rebounds, by the way.
It was a good team win, and that's the thing. I felt his presence out there. He was playing 18 minutes for other reasons, which is surprising, right? Because we're used to Trey Lyles knocking down those threes in transition.
He only took 2 shots. It's hard when Keegan's hogging the ball.
Yeah, but
taking 23 shots, spread the wealth a little bit, huh?
That's the story of the night. But the other thing was Trey Lyles going up for that layup, and that elbow knocks Markkanen in the face.
Was it a bad elbow?
Oh, it was such a basketball move. I am so glad that the refs got it right, because I was just like, the guy, Markkanen's face was in the way, but it's like Markkanen's such a big player, and where Trey Lyles' elbow was by the time they were both jumping, it was just really bad timing on both parts. I felt bad for Markkanen's face, but glad that they didn't call anything else than what it was, an offensive foul.
We still have a lot more to talk about. Can I just say something?
What?
Last podcast, Morgan knows this.
What?
I was just exhausted last podcast, and I didn't even mention it on the podcast. I just didn't feel good. I was just I feel so happy today.
Aww.
I think we're inching closer to Christmas. I just feel it, right?
You're building
And
Legos.
I just, as an NBA fan, being able to witness that tonight, I was driving home and I just was smiling. And I'm also sipping a beer, so I'm probably feeling really good on a Saturday night. I'm just enjoying life and enjoying the fact that career-wise, Monday,
Aww.
I get to work with Mike Bibby.
That is so cool.
Morgan, so before we get there, I want to say this. Morgan got called by the NBA for the third straight year. She's flying to Orlando for the NBA G League Showcase, where all 31 G League teams are there. She's going to be doing some work, doing games as an analyst, and also going to be working the sidelines on ESPN for a game. We don't know all the games yet, but we will know.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Congratulations.
That's sweet. Thanks.
That's really exciting.
No, I have a hard time taking all this love. So thank you.
No, that's
I appreciate
huge.
It. And you're so right. And sometimes I don't take a step back and go like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, you and I were watching the NBA G League Showcase and going, we have to get there. We have to get there. And last year, obviously, you were there. But this year, you have different things going on.
This year, I got a call. NBC Sports California saying Deuce Mason. How about Deuce Mason, Mike Bibby? Monday night. Kings Wizards. I'm going to be hosting pre and post game with Mike Bibby. And can I just say this for a second?
Yeah, no, say it. And I feel like I know what you're going to say.
My love for Mike Bibby as a kid, as a young, like 13-year-old, I will never forget this. I've told this to actually Damian Barling before.
Okay.
So this was 2002, the height of like the Kings in Sacramento at that point. And I heard Mike Bibby was going to be at this like Jordan event at Arden Fair Mall. And I was like, I got to go out there and try to meet him.
Yeah.
I want to meet him. And so I got dropped off there by myself.
Yeah.
And KSFM was there at the time. Young Damien was there on stage with Mike Bibby. I didn't get to meet Mike that day, but like being that close to him, because I didn't go to games back then.
How cool.
Was such a big deal to me. Fast forward 21 years later, in my hometown, I get to do pre and post game with Mike Bibby. I just feel so lucky, and I'm so excited to do it. I'm really excited for the opportunity.
As you should be. Like that is like really think. By the way, please don't forget. You have to take photos. I'm going to be texting people to make sure to take photos of you. No. Because like guys are just so bad about that stuff. But two, it is so crazy, and do not lose that perspective because like
I never do, Morgan.
Okay. It is like I don't.
This is classic Deuce. I feel like if anytime you listen to our show in December, like the week before Christmas, about 10 days before Christmas, or right around the New Year, I get super like. I really get appreciative, and I start like talking about things. And I just really appreciate it. I don't lose sight that I was born in Sacramento, in that I grew up rooting for the Kings, and here I am doing some TV stuff, doing some radio stuff, doing this podcast. I feel beyond lucky to be doing this in my hometown. I'm not like, I'm not doing play-by-play in like San Antonio, which would be awesome. Like, but like, it's special to do it at home.
It is. And especially now, like getting to obviously do a show with some iconic Kings legends. It's something else. Like I mentioned the other night, I was talking shit about John Stockton with Mike Bibby at the end of the broadcast the other night. I'm like, who would have thought I would ever get this moment? So yeah, just soak it all in. I'm super happy.
So I'm doing Monday's game against the Wizards, and then Friday against the Phoenix Suns.
Let's see. I'm like, that's so far from. Yep, Suns.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. And I'm doing that game with Matt Barnes, which is a big deal too. Because
but you've already done games with Matt Barnes, and now it's like,
I have not.
You've never done a game with Matt?
No. I have not.
Oh, you had only done. Okay, got it.
So it's a big deal because it's a Del Campo High School broadcast.
That's what it is. Just a Del Campo reunion.
Damn right I'm giving Del Campo love. Actually, I should get a high school picture of me at Del Campo versus Matt. Like, it'd be kind of funny.
Oh, we should. Oh my God, we should see those. That would be great. Good bit. Great bit.
The one thing though is I feel disrespect tonight.
Jesus Christ! What?
we've got all these people watching live.
Oh, great point.
The easiest thing you could do to help us grow on this channel is to click the thumbs up, hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button. It doesn't make me feel good. It just helps us
It's free.
get viewed by NBA fans around the world. Do that and make sure to subscribe. All it does is help us grow.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get to some people in the comments. Tay says, Deuce is feeling himself. Love it. That's funny. So proud of you, Deuce. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. Sure. There was another one I actually wanted to read that wasn't just love for us. So
wait, was it?
I don't know what it was. I thought there was something about Keegan I saw that I wanted to read.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well.
Oh, Michael. There are no words on how well Keegan has done tonight. He was simply amazing.
Agreed. No, agreed.
So that brings us actually to our Sharif Jewelers moment of the game.
Ooh.
Before we totally get there, Sharif Jewelers is awesome. Okay. If you're looking for like a last minute gift, you're like, hey, you know what? I want to, it's time to propose.
Yes.
Let's get engaged. You know, Christmas is the most popular time to do it.
Yeah,
the holidays.
December.
But anyway, even if you don't, if you want watches, jewelry repair, that's something that people don't realize. They repair jewelry. You took rings there,
Surprised my mom with we all had a ring.
Yeah.
And I got it repaired. I cleaned it. And she was just so happy, so thankful. And the process was so easy because everything's done in house. And I was really scared about oh my gosh, if you bring this somewhere, and you just never know really where to go. So truly, if you have any questions about jewelry, go to Sharif Jewelers. They are so knowledgeable about this stuff.
Locally owned and operated.
Yes.
They're
Iconic.
Kings fans. You don't have to be rich and famous to shop at Sharif's.
It's true.
They do bring you tonight's moment of the game, as most of you guys know by now. And if you don't, now you do. Ooh. We take a moment from the game and we put it in the moment jar, win or lose. And tonight's moment of the game, are we going to really debate it?
What's the moment?
Keegan Murray.
Well, yeah, but usually you get mad if I give a generic moment.
No, he scored 26 points in the third quarter.
Love it.
Which was a franchise record. 12 of 15 from three, franchise record. 47 points in the win over the Utah Jazz. I'm also going to note this on it.
Note it.
Because we haven't talked enough about this tonight. Without De'Aaron Fox.
Oh.
And why that's important?
Yes.
We've seen the Kings without Fox a couple of times this year, right? Some of them have been hideous, disgusting. But they also, the games in Houston were really bad.
Really bad.
But they beat OKC without Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And then tonight, they beat a shorthanded Jazz team. I'm not trying to make too much of hey, can you believe they beat the Jazz? The Jazz are in a tough spot right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
But they still have talented players. My point, though, is they played how they play with De'Aaron Fox tonight. And that's a big deal, is to play that you don't miss a beat, that it kind of looks the same. The offense operated the same tonight without De'Aaron Fox, a guy who's averaging 30 points a game, who's, in the early MVP talk. That's a big deal.
I think sometimes with some of these games that you're supposed to get things done, we always state, well, you got to do what you have to. You're supposed to win this game. You're supposed to get things done. But then what we don't do after some of these games is give the love that it deserves. And I think sometimes because you go, well, that's what they're supposed to do. But it doesn't mean that it still doesn't deserve love for what was achieved. And what was achieved tonight without De'Aaron Fox on the floor was that same style of basketball that they want to have consistently, no matter who's on the floor. And that's where I felt so confident in this team and where they're going. And I get it. We're going to probably see some shitty losses still. Totally.
Morgan, it's like building Legos.
You go up and down. You sometimes have to break it back apart, and then you learn from it.
I looked at that. I read the situation there wrong. Oh, I got to break it all apart and start. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same exact thing as Legos.
Well, one thing that's worth mentioning, though.
Yeah.
Okay, we said before the season, the Kings have to be better at home. They were a bad home team last year. And I mean, okay, I shouldn't say bad, but when you win 48 games on the season, it's like, oh, is it really that bad? But they had a better road record than they did a home record last year. In fact, last year, Sacramento was 25-16 at home. 25-16. Excuse me. I read that wrong. They were 25-16 on the road.
Okay.
They were 23-18 at home. 23-18.
I love that
Thank
you just
you.
read it the exact same that you had it.
Well, what a difference a year makes. Right now, they are 9-3 at home, 6-6 on the road. So
Love
they're
it.
500 on the road. They are 9-3 at home. And last year, they had games against teams that they shouldn't have lost to. The games I think about, actually last year, we were in Vegas for the G League Showcase. They lost at home to Charlotte.
Oh, God, that was so annoying.
I came back from G League Showcase that night. You know who they lost to?
Who?
The Wizards.
Oh, and Kuzma went off or something?
It was disgusting.
Oh.
And it wasn't, they didn't just lose. They like got run out of the gym by
Yes.
the Washington Wizards.
Gross.
I think that was the game Sabonis got hurt his hand too.
Oh,
Yep.
what an awful
I
night.
know, right? And then they played Denver after that, 2 games in a row.
I can't even.
Sabonis missed the next game because he didn't get a split time. Then he came back and played with a fractured hand the rest of the year.
But they were healthy.
So those were like 2 that I remember. But then remember the one late in the year when they lost at home to San Antonio and Champagnie killed them. It was like
Forgot
San
that was at
Antonio.
home.
That was at home. They
Okay.
had a lot of bad home losses last year. I actually, and now I'm going to bring it up because I just want to. It's always good to have perspective, and that's why tonight's games, a game like tonight actually really matters. You ready, Morgan?
Yeah, what are you looking at?
They lost to San Antonio
okay,
at home,
okay.
142-134 in overtime. Kidding me? That was such a bad loss.
Deuce loves perspective.
I think it's important to have
It's
perspective.
very
Morgan.
important to have.
Some other bad losses at home last year. My God, they lost to Toronto last year by 18 at home in January.
Yeah.
Toronto wasn't very good last year.
Yep.
That was a bad loss. Oh, the Sixers lost last year. And you're going, Deuce, what do you mean? They lost to the Sixers. Like, that's a good team.
They didn't have anyone
what do you
playing,
mean?
huh?
You know who did not play in the game?
Joel Embiid.
Yeah. You know who else didn't play in the game?
James Harden.
Yes.
Oh,
And they lost 129-127.
PJ Tucker started, but good. He
Yeah.
had 0 points. Very consistent.
Tyrese Maxey, shout out to him. He's really good. He had 32 points.
Okay.
So my point is there were a lot of bad losses at home. So tonight it's like a step in the right direction. The Kings' next game is coming up against Washington. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we have to mention our presenting sponsor of the podcast helps make this possible along with you.
Yeah.
Our friends over at Northwest Exteriors. If you're thinking about 2024, you're going, I'm thinking about remodeling the home, or you're thinking about, I need new windows. I need a new sliding glass door. You need one new window. You got to trust the experts over at Northwest Exteriors. They're based in Sacramento. They got a showroom in Rancho Cordova. You can check out all the windows. They're based in Sacramento. They don't subcontract. New windows are a game changer. Makes your house look better. Check. Keeps the temperature controlled.
Ugh, check.
Saves you money.
Check.
Adds value to your house.
Check.
It's a no-brainer. So trust the experts at Northwest Exteriors.
It's the best. It's simply the best.
simply the best. Trust Northwest. Or simply the best. Keegan Murray. He's really good tonight.
That was a force.
Here's sometimes you just need to let a force happen. It's improv. Sometimes it doesn't always hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
For sure.
Morgan Reagan.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to show me, and now I do. Morgan's making sure we're getting all of our awesome presenting sponsors in today because
the holidays, man.
It's the holiday season. Shout out to a New York Times bestselling author, the one and only T.R. Reagan. A little story about Morgan's mom for a second. You're going, okay, Morgan's mom advertises? Well, she's a New York Times bestselling author. Why does she need our help? Look, man, let me just tell you something.
Oh.
This woman, for years,
She's amazing.
tried to get published in the 90s, early 2000s. All the book publishers said no. So she went, you know what? I just love doing this. I love writing. It's therapeutic to me. I write thrillers that are dark and twisted. They're based in Sacramento. It's hard to put down, whatever. I'm just going to self-publish. And if 3 people enjoy it, sure. She self-published and turned into an Amazon bestselling author, a New York Times bestselling author. And you people in Sacramento and beyond should check out her books. Search them on Amazon. T.R. Reagan, amazing thrillers. I read the Lizzie Gardner series.
God.
Good luck. You won't be able to put it down.
You won't put some of the best books I've ever read. And by the way, when I say that, trust me, there's like 2 books of hers that I've told her, and I'm like, that was okay. But the Lizzie Gardner series, it is the best thing book-wise that has ever happened to me. So if you're looking for some extra Christmas gifts as well, make sure to check out all of her books, trreagan.com or amazon.com, and search TR Reagan.
Morgan Reagan, next up.
Yes.
Sacramento Kings are at home, and this is a big critical game for the Kings.
Why?
They take on the Wizards coming up on, let's say Saturday, Monday. I should already know that. It's critical from this standpoint. After they play the Wizards, they get the Celtics, the Suns, and the T-Wolves. These are 3 challenging games. The Suns, by the way, without Bradley Beal, he got hurt again. He's going to be out at least a few weeks after tweaking his ankle. Really tough for him, I know. But Boston, Phoenix, and Minnesota to end the homestand.
Okay.
I mean, any game's winnable when the Kings play well, but let's be honest about it. Those are some tough games, and you may lose 2 of 3. You may win 2 of 3. You may not win all 3 of those games, to my point. So getting the next game against a Wizards team that, let's be honest about it, is not good.
No.
You have to get it done. Washington on the season, Morgan, they had the 2nd worst record in the East. They are 4-20, man.
That is so bad. So bad. They
ended their losing streak last night when they beat the Indiana Pacers 137-123. In that game, Jordan Poole had 30 points, efficient too. He had 8 assists on 12 of 18 shooting. Kyle Kuzma had 31. Corey Kispert had 23 off the bench. Koulibaly, the rookie, had 17 against the Pacers team that, to be honest, Deuce Mason might score 12 and 7 against. But they were able to beat the Pacers by 14
He's just talking
tonight.
shit about their defense if you didn't catch on to
Thank
that.
Also worth noting this, Morgan.
Yep.
The Wizards play tomorrow. So they're going to be on a second night of a back-to-back in Sacramento.
Who are they playing?
They play the Suns.
Oh.
So they go to the Suns coming up on Sunday and then Sacramento on Monday.
That's tough for them. That's really tough, especially on the road and the way that they're playing, obviously. But, hey, they got that win against the Pacers. Hopefully that didn't trigger something in them on this road trip to be like, we figured it out. I doubt that is the case. I didn't actually watch this game. I haven't watched a lot of Wizards basketball.
For good reason. They're tough to watch.
Yeah, yeah, well, there's a lot of basketball going on. And it's tough to choose some shitty basketball. But at the same time, it's kind of like we said about tonight's game, even though tonight's game, I feel like there's even more talent with this Utah Jazz team, where you look at this Wizards team and they can get hot. Things could get scary. But if you are playing your style of basketball, which is fast pace, which is making your shots, but if you're not making your shots, how are you getting into the paint? And I feel like this Kings team does such a great job with adjustments in these wins, where you got to make sure that is where you're going. That is the direction you are playing in.
The Washington Wizards, by the way, give up the most points per game in the NBA. They are dead last at 126.8 per game in the NBA. And they allow teams to shoot 50.3%, which is 28th in the NBA. Teams from three-point land, just doubling check that. Okay, they're like 20th, so 37%.
Do you think De'Aaron will be playing?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I know.
I
didn't know.
As shoulder irritation. He was at the Kings event yesterday, which the Kings had the Kingpin Classic, which is like a charity event that they put on. All the Kings players and coaches were out there bowling with some fans. De'Aaron did bowl. As most of you guys know, he's a lefty. Mm-hmm. It's a right shoulder irritation. I feel like they're probably just being cautious with it.
And that's what I thought. And I felt that way, like, it's the, I mean, I feel like in some ways cautious and being like, it's the Utah Jazz. Like if this was a game, that this is the game that we're going to not play you. And that's why with the Wizards, if it's still irritating him at all. It's like, yeah, take a second
Bring him back
off.
against Boston.
Yep, I
I'm cool.
agree with that. But by the way, in that game that he did hurt his shoulder or whatever happened, it just wasn't obvious that he hurt his shoulder. And the way that he kept playing through it, it was like, I mean, we had no idea.
Yeah, I think they were just being cautious with it. And
Yeah.
if they send him one more game, fine, whatever. Don't sleep on Washington either. I know they're 4-20. We all make jokes about it, but the reality is, like Morgan was saying, if you're not locked in, I mean,
They can get hot.
Kuzma's an explosive player who
Yes.
pushes in transition, who can attack, who can get hot from three. Jordan Poole may be as chaotic as it comes, but if you're not disciplined, he can get hot and going. I mean, he didn't play well against the Kings in the playoffs last year. He hasn't had a really good year this year, but if you approach it in a bad way, if you're not locked in,
Yep.
this is the NBA. There's talent everywhere.
Everywhere. And there's nights that guys will just turn it on, even
Yep.
if it's not because they're a great player, but it's because, their effort is there that night, or just mentally they're locked in and ready to screw with the team. So, yep, you got to be ready for all that.
Oh, another thing to note around the NBA tonight, I don't
Yeah.
know how much you were paying attention.
Not around the NBA, no. I was packing for Orlando and watching Kings.
You going to give some love to the Pistons tonight?
Did they get a win?
No, I just love because they need it. They lost again.
You're such a dick.
Not only did they lose, Morgan,
That's so messed up.
they lost to the
dude.
Bucks tonight, 146-114. They've now lost 23 in a row. The NBA record is 26 in a row. I have a question.
What's your
If you're
question?
Monty Williams, like, what do you even say after these games? No, I'm not talking about to the media, but to your
No,
team.
I get it. Like, if you're in that locker room, oh, God. You know what? Oh,
What is
just wait a second.
What is that? I'm sorry. We're talking about the Pistons and somebody's in our Discord. You can join our Discord, by the way, discord.gg/Deuce and Mo. Is that naked Coach Nick?
What's up, Deuce and Mo? How are you?
Hi, Coach Nick.
You just hopped right in, huh?
Yeah, Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what you know. Why not win tonight? Why not light the beam?
No.
Play the hits, Nick. Play
Nick,
the
I got one
hits.
for you.
Oh.
Keegan.
Keegan Murray.
Yeah, good job.
How about Keegan tonight?
He is. Turn on the sprinkler station. Keegan Murray's on fire.
Well,
Well,
you needed to figure
Well,
out a new one.
come on, a different line. What else do you have? If you don't like that, I mean, we gotta move
If
on.
you don't like that,
No.
basketball.
How about dump water on him? He's red hot.
He is red hot.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Keegan.
Murray. Hold on.
Hey, why not fire the laser?
Why not fire the laser?
Yes,
God.
Morgan.
Okay.
You guys are you and Deuce are both of my friends.
Yes, we are, Nick. Yes, we are. Why not be your friend?
And I wanted to thank you
Oh.
guys for being part of my life.
Oh,
Well,
it's
well, thank
December and he's feeling
Yeah, I
it.
do.
I love it.
Question for you, Nick.
Yes.
Have you seen the movie Home Alone?
Ooh.
I have before.
Oh.
Do you like it?
Yes, I have.
Can I just ask that you watch it again before Christmas?
Wow. Will you watch
Yeah.
it?
Thank you. That's all I had.
I will.
Anything else you have on about tonight's game, or anything other questions you have?
Well, I do want to say that, the Kings did great. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing what we're doing, and let's just keep winning our games.
I agree.
Love it.
Are you wearing a shirt?
No.
Oh, naked Nick on a Saturday night. I hope you're wearing clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, good. All right, Nick. Well, good catching up with you, man.
All right, hey, Deuce and Mo. See you later.
See you later.
Hey,
Sleep beams.
Sleep beam.
Lee Beams.
There
Love
you go.
it. Right before Nick, you had asked me what Monty Williams, like, what do you say in that
What
locker
do
room?
you
Like,
lose
no,
23 in a
truly.
row?
Truly, like that's so what I was gonna say, was the high school I went to had a really shitty women's or girls program, basketball program. Okay. And there was only like 1 year that we were we were a good basketball team. We were like the SFL champs, whatever. But then I will never get my senior year. Like it was bad. It was bad. And in the locker room, like even for me as a senior at that time, like there was just no leadership, nothing. I don't ever remember any sort of like technique. And this is high school basketball. I don't ever remember anything but like, hey, just like show up next time. Like it was just about showing up. Now with them, this is a professional basketball league. This is a professional basketball team.
Oh, a professional team.
But I go like, even in a loss like that, thank goodness that they ended up scoring over 100. You know what I mean? Like this Bucks team.
That's the bar.
No,
hey, at least they scored over 100. They lost by 30 something points.
I'm just so at least in some like there's how do you not give up in that when it's that bad?
I think what's crazy about the situation is they are in a rebuild.
Yeah,
you're gonna rebuild a rebuild. You know they gave Monty Williams a monster 5-year. They gave him like an $80 million deal. You know, I know some people are like, oh well, I mean, you got to get rid of him. Like it's year 1 into a 5-year deal. They're not going to let him go. It's a situation where it shows you like you have to draft well, and you have to develop well, and they haven't done it. You know, Cade being hurt last year definitely hurt them. I also think Monty is probably struggling to adjust to this type of team. You know, he had the first run in New Orleans where he kind of had some younger guys, but he coached Chris Paul, and they did some nice things. But when he got to Phoenix, they had the year before Chris Paul where they turned it on in the bubble and went undefeated. It was awesome, good vibes, and they got Chris Paul. Then they were winning. It's
going in the right direction.
I think sometimes you learn more about coaches in these situations. You know, like where it's not
necessarily their fault, but what can they do to get more and or the most out of what they do have in their situation?
Steve Kerr, he's taken a bit of a hit, right? Like he's won championships, Hall of Fame coach. I'm not taking that away from him. But there's a different type of coach maybe that for that type of team where it's like you got to implement some of these young guys.
Sure.
You have to develop some of these young guys where you know, he has struggled. Now, recently, he's trusting them now, and he's starting Kuminga with Green out. He's starting Pajemski. But my point with Monty Williams, he walks into a situation where you got Cade Cunningham, who missed a year, Jaden Ivey, who needs, like, coaching and development.
God, yes.
And whether you're high on Jaden Ivey or not, he was a high draft. He's the 5th pick in the draft last year. You have to figure out a way to get through to him and try to get the most out of him. And I don't know that Monty Williams is taking the best approach. I think he's holding him to standards that might be unfair for a young player who needs legit coaching.
Everyone's different. So that's why I'm not acting like Monty is doing something right, but I'm also not acting like he's doing something wrong, because I just go, like, situations matter, and for both coaches and players, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be the right relationship between those two.
Man, and to be bad this year, I mean, they were really bad last year. Didn't get the number 1 pick, obviously. Went to the San Antonio. So, I mean, they're tracking right now. I mean, Morgan, do you know they're 2-24? And they
it's bad.
They started 2-1. They're 2-24. Washington's 4-20. San Antonio won last night. They beat the Lakers without AD. San Antonio's 4-20. So those 3 teams at the bottom are really bad.
Hey, bright spot of that shitty high school team I was talking about, my senior year, my senior night, I had 7 threes in the first half.
How many attempts?
I don't remember, but the second half.
Were you just chucking though? Was it like
no?
Was it?
I was fucking feeling it, dude.
Was it Jordan Poole? Or was it Keegan Murray?
Oh, that's why I mentioned it, because I was like, it was a Keegan, you know, I know this sounds funny, but like playing with the women's basketball too, 28.5. It's like,
man, you know, the Keegan
different style. It's just in a high school 3-point line.
The Keegan chant would work with your name too.
Morgan Reagan. Yeah, but no, our team was shitty. So, but thinking about that though, like when you're just feeling it like that, and also being on a shitty team and feeling that, and that's why it's so cool that a night like this, like Keegan Murray had a night.
So fun.
Like think about how many years we talked about with Kings basketball, where it's like DeMarcus Cousins 55 points, but it's like they're a shitty team, or there was like there was no path going into the playoffs. Sorry, I'm just thinking about all the awful years, like talking about these.
Yeah,
awful
and you should
teams.
because you gotta, you know me,
Perspective.
big perspective.
Hey.
Big BPG.
That's what they
I'm a
call you.
BPG.
That's what they
big
call you.
perspective guy, and you gotta have that perspective. I did have one other NBA note
Yeah.
because we talked about all the losing teams.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that two of the hottest teams in the league
Yeah.
are two teams that made a trade with each other.
Who?
The Clippers and the Sixers.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a
I
good
do.
point.
You know, we spent some time talking about the Clippers the other night after what they did against Sacramento. The Clippers are playing some really good basketball, and I think, you know, the jury's out if it works long term. But I'll say this: one of the things we had talked about when that trade happened, when Harden got traded there, is if he buys in. Right now,
Which, by the way, was a very fair question to ask.
Yeah, because there's been questions about it. We saw
Correct.
Brooklyn. We saw a little bit in
Correct.
Philly. He is so bought in right now, playing great basketball and making some nice plays defensively. It looks really good right now.
Yep. And that's, if you're the Clippers, capitalize on this, because guess what? He's going to want out next year.
Okay, so Morgan's not bought in yet.
No.
But by the way,
I am.
The Clippers have won
Short-term.
7 in a row now. They are in the 6th spot. They are a half game behind Sacramento, who's in the 5 seed, if you care about that. The Sixers have won 6 in a row.
Okay.
Embiid is playing like a monster. We should know with the Sixers, I mean, you can only play your schedule, but some of the 6-game win streak featured Washington twice, Detroit twice, and Charlotte twice.
Damn.
So
Okay.
I mean, they're feasting a bit on these
But they're-
bad teams.
They're getting the dubs.
But check out Embiid's. This is Embiid's numbers during the streak. Okay, he had 50 against Washington.
Yep.
38 against Atlanta, 34 against Washington, 41 against Detroit, 35 against Detroit, and he didn't play like the whole game because they were crushing him.
Yeah.
And then tonight against Charlotte, he had 42.
God.
Crazy, huh?
It's so, yeah. It's, you know what? I really feel like Joel Embiid is someone the last like 2 years that has really played with so much more joy, and like he looks like he's having fun out there no matter who he's playing with and what's going on. And so it's been fun watching him. Boston is a team that I watched beginning of this season, and I feel like I haven't watched them lately, and they're just consistent.
Yeah, and you know they've had to deal with Porzingis missing times, through
Yes.
stretches too. But yeah, Boston, that's a tough matchup. They're 19-5, and they're coming here. They have won 4 in a row and 7 of 8 overall. They beat Orlando tonight. Was that tonight or last night? 128-111 in that game, and they were still banged up. And I mean, they just have so many pieces. Derek White, what a trade that pickup that was for them. And then of course Tatum, Brown, Porzingis.
I mean, go down the
It's
list.
a squad.
Yeah.
And
And
Drew
all
Holiday.
the changes. Well, and you talk about Drew Holiday, and we talk about the flaws and what Milwaukee is lacking. I mean, how many times have we talked about this with people around the league too? It's like you're seeing how big of a difference it has made to the Milwaukee Bucks defense not having someone put the pressure on these guards. And that second line of defense with Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo, like you just thought, oh yeah, well they're shot blockers. Like they can protect the rim, but it's not that easy when they have to do it all, especially when that defense isn't out there with Dame and who else? Beasley.
Yeah, Malik, that's not going to get it done come
Right.
playoff time. Drew Holiday's so underrated, I think, in so many ways. One other NBA topic, since we're just bouncing around the league real fast. Morgan, I know it's been so easy to clown on this guy.
Okay, wait, should I guess?
Let's play a guess
Yeah.
about a guy that I've clowned on before. I've given some love to, but
Oh, okay. I would have said James Harden, but we already talked about him, so I'm going to go Luka.
it's a good one. Luka had a monster game.
Okay,
tonight.
so it's not Luka.
It's not Luka, but can I just read Luka's stat line to you tonight against Portland?
Yeah. I love that. I'm going to go down the list of who Deuce's clown.
Luka had 40, 12, and 10. And I'm sure the other one you're going to mention is Cat.
Oh.
That's not the one, but Cat tonight.
Wow.
40.
That's not the other one?
No, 40 points, 12 rebounds. Minnesota is cruising right now. They beat Indiana tonight without Halliburton.
Wait, I love all the list of guys. They're all dropping 40 tonight.
I know.
God, who else have you clowned?
Dillon Brooks.
Oh, well,
Dillon Brooks.
can I just say, like, you've clowned him and you've definitely stuck up for him when he's deserved it.
Yeah, because I felt like Memphis used him as a scapegoat.
They totally
I did try to make a case for the Kings bringing him in over the offseason. Like, could Mike Brown help him? Morgan shit all over that. Dillon Brooks has a really good year. And last night against Memphis, revenge game, hitting a dagger 3. It's not just a dagger 3. His team won. He dropped 26 points, 7 rebounds. Here's the other thing I like about Dillon Brooks this year. His new gimmick, before games, he just stands there and stares at the other team.
Scary.
If I'm on the other team, I'm totally just standing in front of him.
That's what Jamal Murray... Do you saw Jamal Murray do
like
that?
every game. I'm doing different things to mess with. If I'm Slamson, the mascot, Slamson's got to go out there.
Slamson... Well, is that allowed? Yes, that's allowed. Yes, Slamson, you know what you need to do. Get the job done.
I love it. Everyone in the chat was like, he's got to be talking about cat. Yeah.
That's so funny. I went to Luka. People went to Cat.
Yeah. One other note, too.
Draymond.
I've said that like 8 times. One other note. Can we hit rewind and go back to before the Kings took on the Rockets? And I was like, I know they're 1-3, but I'm telling you, they're playing some pretty good basketball right now.
No. Not you. We said this.
I know, but I actually said it, and then you agreed, but we're on the same page.
Okay.
We didn't like say it in unison.
We did. We
I know they're 1-3, but you can't sleep on them.
It happened just like that.
Anyway, then they beat the Kings twice in a row. Houston, all of a sudden, they've won 5 in a row. They are 13-9 on the season.
Damn.
Ime Udoka's got those guys playing well, man.
When we did say like you can't sleep on them, it's because we were watching them, and I remember watching them being like, there's something else there. It wasn't like go down the roster and they should be better. It was, well, you saw what Ime Udoka did with the team in Boston, but that also had star players, but still brought so much more out of them. And then in Houston, people weren't sure if that was going to be it's the case. And then you have people like Van Vliet, who are just veterans in the locker room, actual adults in the locker room, which is helpful.
One other thing I want to bring up.
One other note?
Yeah. So you know how Detroit's won 2 games this year?
Yeah.
We're going to play a game called
Who
has Detroit beat this year? And Morgan, you are the contestant. Dun, dun, dun,
I feel like it was early.
It was because they've lost 23 in a row. Yeah, good. Good job, Morgan. I'll give you this.
Okay.
Their last win, Morgan.
I'm not looking, by the way. I'm just over here.
Their last win came October 28th. Oh my God.
So I feel like it would be like an Eastern Conference team. Let's go with the Heat.
Okay.
And New York.
Charlotte and Chicago.
Okay. Well,
that's it.
You win some.
They won back-to-back games, and that's it. Crazy.
Wow. That's crazy. That's sad. That's tough.
It is really sad. Okay. We have reached that point. My favorite point that I think we're unofficially been doing lately is final thoughts. Final thoughts from tonight in general, live, Kings perspective, whatever. What are your final thoughts?
Deuce allows me to open up and say anything I want. Let me think. Final thoughts. This game.
You know what? Sorry.
Jesus. What you got?
We have Sergio in the chat who's like, hey, can you get to Discord? So I'm going to do it. I feel, we don't take enough calls this year. We haven't.
Facts.
Let's check in. Sergio, are you there?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah, you're welcome for cutting off Morgan's story and going to you. What do you want to say?
Oh, I just want to say Keegan is that guy. Keegan is gonna be that third star for the Kings this year. Like, depending on how long that takes, we'll see. But like after a game tonight, that just shows he has the potential to be that third guy for the Kings. Like, I don't know.
Hot take? He's got the potential to be a legit number 2.
Yeah, for not for real. Like coming off like hitting shots like that, like going off for breaking the records for most threes by a Kings player in a single game, most points.
And you know what's great about that? You know whose record he broke?
Who? Oh, yeah. No, I know.
I don't want to say his name.
Thank you. We don't have to.
No, yeah, we don't need to say his name.
No
Why
problem.
do I
Did
feel
beat
you
Mitch
so much on that, though? Like, I felt that same way when I saw him break that. I was like, thank God.
Like when I heard, so I was listening to the game at work. I was every game that I can't make it to, I'm listening to the G-Man at work.
Shout out, G-Man.
And yep. And he's got the bucket. Yep. And every time he was yelling that, I was yelling Murray at work, and everybody was just looking at me all weird. It's funny, but
That's great,
like,
man.
yeah. Am I wearing a shirt? I'm wearing the Keegan Murray jersey right now.
Oh,
That's all
Hell
I got.
yeah, dude. Well, hey, I appreciate you checking in for the first time, and I'll do a better job of making sure we get to some Discord calls throughout the year. So check in again, all right?
Yeah, and for sure. Thank you guys for doing this. I tune in all the time. This is awesome. You guys do a great job. And yeah, that's how I keep up with my Kings.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Couldn't
Appreciate
do
it.
it
There's
without
Sergio
you
checking in.
guys, so
All right,
thank
Morgan,
you.
back to your final thoughts. Go ahead.
Final thoughts. Just, I love a big game like this. I love the records being broken because of who was ahead. I also think, looking at how you always have perspective, I think it's important that when the Kings lose next, to not lose sight of some of these wins like this without De'Aaron Fox and how the team played as a whole. Sure, Keegan Murray went off, but I thought the team as a whole, even guys down the line, not scoring the ball, just doing all the little things, it was fantastic. And you just hope that they can figure out how to do this a little bit more consistently.
I agree. My final thought?
Legos.
Life is like Legos. No, I'm going to reiterate one thing. For maybe people who
You can't
are just
accept
checking in
and
to stream.
defeat what
No.
you know.
Thanks for going out to all my lines. Stop with the traded Keegan Murray stuff.
Oh.
And I know it's not because you don't like Keegan. I know it's because you want a championship. And you're like, can we trade Keegan and get this guy? Look, man, Keegan Murray is on a rookie deal. What is he, 23 years old? You've been wanting a wing with size who can defend at a high level and hit the three. He is growing his game. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's dunking. He's not only defending guys on the wing, he's defending guards. He's defending the best player on the team. And he's doing it at a high level. I was never tripping about him missing threes early.
Sure.
Because I saw what he did last year in catch and shoot situations, 40% from three, over 200 made threes, setting an NBA rookie record. Since he's come back from the back injury, the three's starting to drop again. And when it's not dropping, he's not disappearing. We're going, was Keegan on the floor tonight? He's still finding ways to impact the game. And he's doing it defensively. He's doing it by scoring at the rim with that nice little floater when he gets into the lane. Trust this.
Oh.
Enjoy this. May not win a championship this year. Who cares? It's about seeing the growth and understanding that Fox, Sabonis, and Murray can be a legit big three. A little Monk in there too. That's a pretty good core. And now it's on the front office to build around that. Get some more defense. And this Kings team can be legit in the West. But the Keegan Murray trade ideas, if I see enough, Do not ever post one again.
Oh my God.
Not on Discord,
So
not on
aggressive.
X, not on IG. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it in the chat. Instant block
Oh,
by me now.
yeah, right.
So my final message, enjoy this shit. This is fun. Big win. I love it. 15-9. You know what? I'm going to say this right now. This is
Please don't.
This is the happiest I've been after a win this year.
Oh, thought it was going to be something like a dramatic hot. I was like,
it's
no,
not a hot take because the Kings still have some of the same issues. We're not ignoring that. You don't just go, hey, they win, so the issues are gone, right? No, we're aware of the weaknesses. But I haven't even talked to Morgan about this, but there have been times after the podcast, even after wins, from like, I'm not as excited. And that sucks for me because I'm trying to tell people to appreciate these moments. Tonight, I felt it. I felt the joy. I'm happy. Very fun win.
Well, okay, little spoiled bratty boy. It can't take like a 47-point game from
It's
a
not
player.
about that.
Okay.
It's not about that.
Okay. Just making sure.
It's about playing the right way without your best player.
That is
And
fair.
I appreciate that. So go do it again Monday night.
Don't get greedy.
With Deuce Mason and Mike Bibby on pre and post.
Be on pre and post.
We're going to have night chat live after that game. Morgan's going to be in Orlando, staying up.
Yeah.
It's going to be 1 a.m. Eastern time.
I'll be on
and Morgan's gonna
West
be
Coast time.
So you're going to be watching that game.
Yeah.
And you may be missing the next night chat after that, though.
No, I don't think I will.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, because it will be 9:30 my time. I don't think I will.
Well, we appreciate you guys so much. I want to encourage people watching us on YouTube later. Make sure to drop comments below. Give us your thoughts on what you thought Keegan Murray, what you thought about Keegan Murray. What do you think about his ceiling at this point? What you thought about the win? Also, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, give us a 5-star review. It just helps us grow. We appreciate you guys so much, but we gots to go.
Thanks for partying with us on a Saturday night, feeling happy with us, celebrating with us. See ya.
My bad.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.